Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the Business Matters podcast, coming to you from the Wynn Technology Studio here in the Chamber office. And thank you to our media sponsor, Royal Credit Union. I'm Chelsea Seckora, the creative director for the Eau Claire Area Chamber of Commerce, and with me today is Aaron Libner. Aaron Libner with Coulee Tech.
It's all right. We get her all over the place. I have a lot of names these days. So.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah. What is it?
Cyber criminal, butt kicker, evangelist of AI.
Holy.
I mean, we'll just, we can leave it at that for now.
I mean, speaking of AI, that's going to be the topic of today's episode. AI Uncovered. How is it shaping local businesses? So I've already done the little introductions, but we're really going to be just diving into the role of AI in local businesses, including marketing, customer service applications, as well as just a general overview regarding the impacts of AI, because that is the hot topic right now.
Indeed.
So let's just get started real quick. Let's talk about the current landscape of AI for small and local businesses. So Aaron, can you share how Coulee Tech sees AI adoption among local businesses?
Yeah, AI is really integrated everywhere. It's on all of our everyday tools, whether people realize it or not. It's in our Microsoft 365 and Google Workplace. It's been there for a while. If you're on the creative side, you definitely have seen it in Canva or Adobe or any of those things. It isn't just in large corporations. It's in local businesses are quickly adopting to it, like manufacturing, restaurants, nonprofits, real estate, service-based businesses. AI levels the playing field for those businesses and allows them to play with the big hitters that have the bigger pockets and traditionally would have paid for those resources and tooling in the past. But now, because of accessibility, AI has given them a lot more to work with.
How did you even get started in all this?
Yeah. So Coulee Tech and myself, we're an IT cybersecurity company, so we're a managed service provider for that. And being a technology company, you got to be on the forefront of all the newest and greatest things. You got to realize what's out there, how businesses you interact with, use tooling when it comes to technology, and you want to be the person who's talking about the next big thing. Now, there's a lot of trends that have happened over the years, and some have definitely come and gone. This one, although, is here to stay. If you look at all the players that are in the mix, whether it be Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Elon Musk and his investments, just to name a few of them. There's a lot of money pouring into this. This isn't just another trend. This is a new era. It's the new digital era for us. So for us, though, we wanted to be the experts in this field. We wanted to be the one businesses could go to, utilize as a resource. We do our monthly AI workshops, which I've included a link to those. If anybody wants to join those, they have that ability. Those are free and virtual. And those are just giving updates every month. It's changing. Sometimes within weeks it's changing, or days it's changing, let alone month after month. If we would go back a year and a half ago or so when we started our podcast or our AI workshops, the things we were doing there would look like our 90s era pixelated games we were playing, like GoldenEye or something like that, for those nerds back in the day, right? If we look at those today, we're like, wow, how did we think this is cool? Well, it's going like that, but in 6 month or less time frames.
It's insane. So what's this myth that AI is only for large corporations?
Yeah, I think the big thing is small businesses are either too afraid to maybe get in, or they don't know where to start. And big corporations, they feel like, have the capacity to take on things because they think it's going to be this huge time investment. And then that couldn't be further from the truth. If you get out of your desk to go ask a coworker a question, or you go on Google to search an answer, you can do all of those things with AI and get oftentimes more feedback, intellectual resources, and information to do what you need to in a snap of a finger from AI versus even having to leave your desk, which allows you to look up and ask those questions into AI through prompting and continue on working on other things, which makes you 10 times more efficient.
So can you give some examples of maybe how small businesses can utilize AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So small businesses are using AI for content creation, social media posts. If you're on the Canvas side for designing maybe brands, logos, those kind of thing. Jasper AI is good for like blogs or email drafting. Buffer later. Hootsuite is all used for scheduling social media. All of those are just to name a few of things you can utilize. Copilot is built within Microsoft's platform, so if you are inundated with something you just don't understand within a platform like Excel, how many people have worked in Excel and they're like, how do I do this formula?
It's me.
Yeah. Well, Copilot now, if you have the license for that, or if you even just have a ChatGPT access, which everybody can have access to pretty much any one of those. There's a free version for them. You can ask, like, what is the formula to do this XYZ thing? Or, hey, I'm working on this. How do I go about doing this? And any one of the AIs will give you a step-by-step prompt on how to go about handling that.
So you kind of already touched on Hootsuite and like scheduling content and all that, even Canva, designing it. So can you talk about the automation of social media content creation?
Yeah. So with that, let's say you're planning a music festival in a certain time of the area for a certain location, and you have maybe a certain demographic or audience that you're trying to appeal to. A lot of times creators in the past would have spent a lot of time trying to delegate resources to get that target audience. AI is able to, in a very quick snap, create those instances that are immediately appealing, and oftentimes also provide imagery to go along and support what the mission or the mantra of that set event or objective is, very, very quick in an instance. And if you don't like it, in a matter of seconds, just rewording your prompt, you can often, or even within a couple prompts, you can get it very, very accurate to the point where it's almost like mind-blowing on how good it is.
So then talking about like AI generated email campaigns and like customer segmentation.
So AI tools like HubSpot, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign can segment customers based on behavior, purchase history, email engagements like opens and clicks, or demographics like location, age, industry, those kind of things. Benefits of this is going to be more personalized emails, higher open rates, and increased conversations with those interactions.
So do you, from Coulee Tech perspective, have any success stories or case studies from your own clients using these?
Not necessarily clients, but in my latest book, AI Unleashed, AI success stories from local business leaders, we interviewed about 13 different area professionals, one of which, Chelsea, you might recognize Dave Miner in here. Yeah, he talks about just how learning, we came in and we worked and trained with the chamber team here on using ChatGPT, or Chad as they like to say in this.
Oh man, I made that joke. I was the one that was like, "Hey, we should ask Chad," and yep, no, it's got an identity.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it's here to stay with that. So, Dave, he talks a lot about how some of the work he would have done in the past would have taken him, 24 or 48 hours or a couple weeks worth. He's able to do within a matter of 15, 20 minutes. And that time savings, especially if an individual like himself, where he's moving and he's got a lot of moving parts, giving that day back to him really allows the ability to be more efficient and to be more successful. Another story to talk on, Nick Vosters, who's the director of risk management at Bauerbuilt. This is what he said. Tools like Articulate have integrated AI features that allow me to build and modify training modules more efficiently. He explained that previously creative interactive training content required extensive copy, pasting, and manual adjustments. Now AI enables me to experiment with different elements and structures seamlessly, enhance the overall quality and engagement of the training materials. So those are two local stories. Bauerbuilt's right down there in Durand. Shout out to those folk over there. There's a number of stories in this book, and I have a link to that as well if people want to get a copy of that, or if you're going to be at any of our future events coming up here, whether it's a golf outing, just come stop by our hole and you'll get your hands on one of those. So
yeah, you can also check out the description if you are listening on YouTube. Check out the description for those links. So then, kind of keep going on the marketing train. Are there any more additional tools that could be used for small businesses?
Well, there's also things like chat bots that you could potentially experiment with. Those are still developing further and furthermore for you're looking for some answer for FAQs or frequently asked questions for those who don't appreciate acronyms, or appointment scheduling type back and forth responses until you want to get to a set appointment structure. AI generated first response to emails, ticketing systems, AI suggested solutions. Those are all things you can do from a customer service perspective. AI also provides speed and consistency, builds trust and empathy with the content. It's able to relate to users more. So how many people have had that speech or presentation where they're going to a group maybe they've never talked to before and it just left you on pins and needles, like not sure, am I going to be able to relate to this group? AI does an amazing job to emulate or build an empathy with the audiences you're going to present to. So oftentimes if I'm going to go do a presentation or I'm going to go and put marketing materials together, I'll put in the type of audience I'm going to be interacting with. And from that, it allows me to have a better empathy with those that I'm in the audience with. I might even use, if I know it's like certain age group of individuals, I might use targeted references from that age of where people grew up to help make my presentation more empathetic to the audience.
So then now customer service. So how about language models for customer communication?
Yeah, so for all pretty much AI, it's built off of the human language models. So much like you would talk to an assistant in the room, you're going to just freely talk to these AI models. They're built to interact with us as humans and to take and build us and enhance our abilities to communicate more efficiently. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who have maybe a third grade level writing or communicative message capability, or even like their punctual or grammatics is just horrendous.
Yeah. Fair.
Well, if you're using AI, you don't really have an excuse. And especially if you're not using AI, if you're one of those folks who your written grammatics is just terrible, spelling is not there, AI can help you improve and be more professional in that area.
So then we're talking about the human touch, right? There's still a resounding disconnect between the human experience and this digital space. So where can you see a connection happening?
Yeah, for this, I mean, the big areas are just helping you with those moments where you're just stuck. You've lost maybe that. We all get inundated regularly with just a multitude of things personally and professionally. AI helps us stay on track and focused. It helps us get rid of those writer block moments, or those moments you can't really think of how do I go about this? I just can't think about. Well, you just state what you're trying to accomplish, and it will help create, maybe foster you as like a kind of consult with you. It will guide you. It will give you instruction on things that you maybe otherwise would have had to spend a pretty significant amount of time trying to learn or get up to speed on. With that said, you do need to verify information. It's not 100%, but statistically, in pretty much all sectors, these AI models are vastly accurate and superseding the typical human average in a number of the categories. So,
how do you see that impacting creativity? Like me as a creative director, right? Even in my college days, I mean, I've been doing art since I was a kid, but going to school, realizing the creative process, and there was a rhyme and reason for leading up to everything that you did. So how do you think AI has changed that approach?
I think it's just another shape or model or another way of bringing the art and innovativeness into the world. You're not going to have AI do a finger painting or anything like that, or watercolor or stenciling or
Make
anything.
a turkey with the hand.
I mean, humanoid robots, they may, take on some of those things in the future. But you're always going to have the human artistic components that are unique to each individual. Now, it can go in and provide a unique aspect that maybe we wouldn't see otherwise from some of the current artistic components out there, where you might just like, I'm drawing this image here and I don't know what else I wanted to go with it. I'm trying to like vision this XYZ thing. What ideas could you suggest for me to include into this drawing? If you're wanting to talk to not necessarily somebody else because you want to keep it unique to yourself, but you want to brainstorm on what you're trying to do, but have that feedback of like you're talking to another human, AI could fulfill a lot of those areas. So let's say you're working maybe on a farm portrait or something like that, and you've got maybe 3/4 are done, but you got an area that you just can't figure out what you want to put in there. You might just talk back and forth like, what do you think would go good with this scenic look? I'm trying to give this appeal of this portrait. What else could I incorporate in there? You're still going to be the one carrying out the work and making the portrait, but you might use AI to help brainstorm what else you could include in the image as suggestive tips and things like that.
So, hard pinching question here. Can AI truly be creative, or is it just remixing what already exists?
AI is unique to its own output. So even if you go in with the same prompt typically on everything, it's going to give a unique prompt typically back one of its output that it kicks out. So a lot of people will see images out on social media, or they'll see images in like PowerPoints and things. And you can a lot of times tell if you're using AI that those are AI generated. Oh, yeah. That is likely somebody who's just maybe less experienced in using AI. If you have somebody who's more experienced, you're going to see a much more diverse look to those images, meaning they're going to put more of an emphasis on what they want in the background of the image, how they want something to look. And they're using it as though it's an assistant and an extension of them versus having it just do everything for them.
Sure.
And I think from an artistic viewpoint, if you had a paintbrush and you're just going about and painting on a blank canvas, you're painting and you're thinking about as you're painting, you're thinking about what you want to do with the brush in the next act. With AI, you're preloading that thought process, and then you're going back and making adjustments. So where you might come in with that white paint or that black paint to do over something you don't appreciate or you don't like in the image, because we know painters, occasionally make an error in something, and then they have to kind of go back and touch up that image, maybe by painting over a section or doing some layered structure of some sort. Mm-hmm. You think of like you're prompting an AI like your layers of a painting. So you're going through and developing the base of what you want to have. Then you're going to go back and then you're going to refine some more details of what you want to see more in this area or that area. And with AI, you're prompting and reworking with that prompting over and over again until you get to that finished product that you're trying to accomplish.
Sure. So expanding on that, do you think AI limits or assists artistic expression?
Well, I think it depends on the perspective of where you're sitting. I think for some individuals, it could definitely extend the abilities that they've never would have had before because they didn't just have that artistic knack to be able to accomplish XYZ goal. For others, they may get to a point where their prompting maybe just needs to be refined in order to get to the next level of execution with the outputs, and that might be a limitation. But with that, if they were to develop more education into how to do prompting in AI, they would find that they could exceed, and then there really would be no limitations in that area.
I'm sure you've heard these kind of concerns about privacy and ethical consideration in using AI. What is your response to that?
I think people need to be aware of the models they're using and the memberships that they have. If you're using free resources, you're going to be contributing to the learning databases that are out there, meaning your information is going back to those data centers where the models are continually learning and growing off of. You can pay for higher level models that keep that information out of those learning-based data centers, but you would need to partner with a professional or learn the skills in order to know what models you need to go with to not do that, or what environments you need to have set up in order to keep your intellectual knowledge or data to yourself and not going back.
So how can folks responsibly use AI?
I would say just keep personal intellectual information out of there. Don't share anything you wouldn't want shared out in the open. If you're not going to post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever it might be, I probably wouldn't put it on your social media or your AI account you're using.
Have you seen like examples of that? Misinformation or?
There are some potential biases in different models of AI. There are some that are uncensored. Some potentially could have some political influence if we're in the current state we're in. Some are not. I think you can do your research into what areas are going to have those in particular circumstances. But in the grand scheme of things, I just don't share things that you don't want to share it in there. Realize whatever you take out of AI, it's yours, and what you choose to use and put back out for other people to read or see, it's yours. If you end up going to having somebody, question something in, let's say, court or litigation, you're not going to be able to say, oh, the AI created, I didn't create it. No, you chose to use it, and it's yours. You have to take ownership of what you do, and you have to realize whatever you're using is you. It's not anybody else. You grabbed it, you took it, you're using it. You have the consequences of whatever that decision is.
So then how does Coulee Tech help those implement AI responsibly?
Well, we do our AI monthly workshop. We'll come into organizations, businesses. We'll provide training. I can do super granular, basic level AI instruction and training. If you've never, ever interacted with AI, I probably could do some things that are going to leave your mind blown. If you have worked with AI, I probably can also show you things that you've never thought of. There are so many resources available, so many opportunities within AI. Every business and individual could benefit from the use of AI in one shape or form. Everybody is using AI in some facet or another, whether they want to admit it or not, or interacting with AI, whether they want to admit it or not. Even if you personally choose to not use any technology, if you go into the world and you go to a restaurant or you go to a travel XYZ thing, AI is integrated everywhere we go, and it's going to be. If you're not using AI or businesses aren't using AI, they're going to lose out to the competition up the road or people that are using AI.
What are the responses that you see from the workshops that you offer? Like, do you find that people are more educated than you thought going in, more uneducated? Do people feel relieved after your workshops? Like, what are the experiences you witness?
I think people are excited. They're excited about what is possible, things that they didn't think about in the past, opportunities of taking on and learning something new that they would have thought was unreachable maybe in the past. AI and the tools that are out there really allow you to go and learn something in a unique way, unlike anything other before. A prime example of that, we all have hobbies and interests. And a lot of times the way we learn is unique, obviously, to each individual. Well, what you can do with AI is you can say, hey, I have this hobby of grilling, let's say, and I want to learn how to do I want to learn how to fish. Let's just say that. Okay, right? You can use some of the thought process that go into the grilling world and have AI actually apply it to fishing or to provide analogies to things. AI does really great with analogies or explanation. And if you still don't understand, you just drill in further with the questions you have, and you're going to get to the answers that you want.
100%. Where do you think AI is going to go in the next 3 to 5 years?
I don't know where AI is going to go a year from now.
Honestly. Oh, you're so real for that.
Actually, 6 months now. In all honesty, though, early predictions, we started this back in January last year. I think we're probably 2 years or less out for AI to be involved in 90% more of jobs that are out there. I believe that some of the streaming services you're seeing out there are going to move more towards unique experiences with AI, where you almost will get to a point where you're going to be able to basically tell a story of what you want to see in a movie, and it will create a movie for you. I don't know how far that is out there, but I wouldn't be surprised when you're going into your Netflix applications or some of these other things. They're going to start asking you, like, what do you want to see, and having it produce customized content to you that you would like.
So then, how does that apply to business operations, specifically small businesses?
Yeah, so for businesses themselves, it's going to be personalized marketing that's catered to the audiences they're going to go to, enhanced customer support, so responsiveness for businesses, smarter data analytics, so where you would have spent a number of time going through and analyzing reports or documents and numbers. AI can do that in a short amount of time. It's going to be involved in hiring. It's going to be involved in different levels of cybersecurity and evaluating threats. There's just so many things that are to come and so many unanswered or unanswerable things right now.
Sure.
Because we're just on the cusp of, like, we're just getting started. Today's AI, and this is what we always say in our workshop, is the dumbest AI we're ever going to have.
Sure.
So it's mind-blowing. I mean, in February of this year, we did something we never thought could have. I mean, it was just mind blowing. If you've ever been a developer, you've ever spent time with software being built or anything like that, it was truly a mind blowing experience. We, in a matter of 30 to 40 minutes, built a a social media platform with AI.
What?
And then we added an instant messenger add-on widget and a marketplace and those were 15 minutes additional time within our AI workshop. We did this. And then if that wasn't mind-boggling enough, it was functional as well, I should note. We also then took that platform, and we had an HR representative of one of the local counties there who's like, I would really love something like this for our employees of the county. Okay. We had it rework itself to be a platform that employees could use and put benefit information into, newsletters about the county. It reworked the entire platform to a functional within the workshop.
That's insane. I was going to ask, I was like, what kind of platform would you be wanting to build? But you answered that.
Yeah. If you think of like what has gone into building Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, there's tools right now, AI out there that can build those platforms within an hour.
Insane. Do you see any of those other platforms being outwritten by?
Well, they have more and more money than invested in their platforms. They're working through, constantly improving their areas. Meta is another one that I didn't mention earlier. They're all working to be the biggest and the best and the fastest and the first to whatever it is in the marketplace. And it's a race. And right now, the limitations come honestly to access to power their data centers, and the data centers are what and where these AI models are learning and growing and evolving from. So the more power it is accessible, the more they can do in their data centers, which is the more and faster their AI models learn. That's why we may see something super cool in a model that's released this week, and next week another competitor comes out with something similar, and they're fighting the clock to come out with something later and greater than the next person. What we saw in the early 2000s with the evolution of the internet and what took basically 10 years to evolve, we're seeing in 6 months or less time frame.
Insane. Okay, so then what's your advice for businesses ready to take the first step in AI?
I think for businesses that are looking to take the next step, start small with AI. Pick one area in your business, maybe something that's a monotonous task, something that you can you would go to a person, get up and ask a question. Start with one thing, work with it, grow from it, learn from it. Educate your team and just spend time talking with it and learning what its capabilities are. I can't tell you enough how many people are like, okay, I listened to you and I went and just started asking questions to it and I can't believe what I'm able to do. And then the next time I'm talking to them, I'm like, well, have you looked at this function within this model? I didn't know that was a thing. Like the working document tool within ChatGPT, most people don't even know that that's there. You can sit and you can have a document created in front of you that you can live edit and have AI help you basically make any sort of form or document you have. Like, and people don't even know that's there. And that's been there for 6+ months already. And that tool alone, if you're doing proposals, estimates, letters of recommendation, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, like right now, I was actually out with some friends. We were having a few beverages with one another, and there's a movie playing on the TV, and it was literally the back of one of the actors. I took a picture of it, and we're like, we can't remember what movie this is. And we uploaded it into, I used Google Gemini.
Yeah.
It told the movie just off of a snapshot of a back of an actor.
Yeah. I've used the Google like image search to where like I can't find something or I see a product and I was like, I have a picture saved of it way back when. And then I upload that and then it pops it out. And I'm just like, neat.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm definitely a geek and nerd in this area, so I love it. Think of like if you're a tinkerer or you're a crafter, you're like a mechanic or somebody who's working with random parts and pieces and you just have no idea maybe what this XYZ thing is, right? You can take a picture of that part, or even if it has a barcode, it's even better yet. But you take a picture of it, AI can almost always tell you what it is, where it belongs, how it works, and what it's for. And then to go further than that, if you add in the live search to whatever platform you're on, it will go out and tell you where you can buy the part or piece, what year, model, make it was, maybe even where it was produced. It's
got it all, man.
It does. It does have it all. So
I mean, it's definitely a good troubleshoot tool because even I've run into that to where I'll get a pop-up in my Adobe software and it will be one that I have not seen. And going into the FAQs on Adobe, Apple isn't really the friendliest. So I'm able to put it into Chat and it pumps out 8 different ways to fix it. And I'm just like, thank you. You just saved me 30 minutes of clicking on separate articles to figure out what I needed. So it's definitely the efficiency is unreal.
Heck yeah.
So with it being the Business Matters podcast, the final thoughts are business matters and why does it matter to Coulee Tech? And if you want to kind of shift it around, the concept of AI, feel free.
I'll just leave it with this. If you're not using AI, your competitors are up the road are using it. If you're not using it personally for things, your friends and family, people you know directly are using it. Probably people within your household you maybe don't even realize are using it. There's so many applications for use of AI that I encourage people just to be open to the idea of using AI, checking it out. If you're uncertain, come to our monthly workshop. It's the last Friday every month. It's free to attend. It's a virtual attendance from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We have one next Friday, actually, if people want to attend.
Yeah, shameless plug. Go get it.
I'm going for it. Yeah. It's what happens when you have a sales guy come on to, but check it out. And, with that, I just want to say thanks to Chelsea and the Chamber and all of our sponsors here to allow them to make this happen. And as an ambassador, I greatly appreciate the resources the Chamber puts out, and a local business. Definitely, you guys are doing great, and excited to help however I can with any other area businesses.
Aw, thank you. Well, I can just leave that at the outro and we just call it a day, but I guess you could honestly say that AI is going to matter to business, and it already does. So, Aaron, thank you so much again for being here. This was a fantastic conversation. I hope to bring you back in the future because AI is going to look different.
Definitely.
I will echo what Aaron said, and thank you to our studio sponsor, Win Technology, and media sponsor, Royal Credit Union. And just a couple things coming up in the Chamber world. We have Chamber Royale taking place on Thursday, May 15th at the Eau Claire Event District up at High Country. So come on by. It's just a night to have some good fun. Other than that, Bravo to Business nominations are still open. That event will be held in November. So if you have a business or somebody you think is worthy of entering any of our categories, feel free to nominate them. That phase will end on April 30th. But other than that, take care, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one.